another episode of Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ died and he rose again. Let's get headed to it. So, Jeff and Gundy. Okay. It was game 5 of the 99 playoffs. Allen Houston had just hit a game winner. Hit the game winner. Okay. But there was still 0.8 seconds left on the clock. So that was the time for the Heat to get in a catch and shoot situation. Okay. And so, 0.8 seconds left. Miami's taking the ball out. They inbound the ball. They get the ball into Harry Porter. He takes one dribble and then fires up a shot. And Jeff Van Gundy was livid. Okay. Jeff Van Gundy was absolutely livid about that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's right here.
Porter got it away. No good. Just missed. And the New York Knicks have become the second team in NBA history to knock off a number one. An 8 over a number one, only the second time in NBA history. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. I'm here with Patrick Ewing. He congratulates Chris Childs.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that. Jeff Van Gundy was livid. He was letting the official know. Why was he letting the official know? Because Jeff Van Gundy knows that 0.8 seconds is not enough time to get in 100 dribble and then shoot. Okay. Jeff Van Gundy knew that, and he was letting the official really have it. He was letting the official really have it, and they just won, which is typical behavior of an NBA coach, right? They are never satisfied. NBA coaches are never satisfied, right? Okay, so Jeff Van Gundy, they just won the game. But I can understand Jeff Van Gundy's frustration and anger on Terry Porter being able to get in one dribble and then get hit a shot off. I can understand Jeff Van Gundy's anger on that because that one dribble may have been the rhythm that he needed to fire in the game-winning shot to Harry Porter. Okay, but yeah, Jeff Van Gundy was letting the official have it, and he was just reminding the official, hey, there is no way in basketball hell that you could take one dribble with 0.8 seconds and then get a shot off, okay? So Jeff Van Gundy was just reminding the ref of that. And he did it in a colorful way, so to speak, right? Okay, so there was a game back in early in the 2003-2004 season, okay? And I was watching the episode of NBA Open Court. And Ernie Johnson asked a question. He asked a question. He said, what was the most important shot that you had in a game? Okay. And all the players went around and gave their answers, okay? And Tracy McGrady said, I had 4 of them, but they were all in one game. Okay. And obviously he is referring to the 13 points and 35 seconds, right? Because the Houston Rockets crowd thought that the game was over because the Spurs were up by like 8. Okay. Or something like that. With seconds remaining in the game. And the Spurs were up. The majority of the Rockets crowd had left. Rockets were probably thinking the game was over. Spurs were probably thinking the game was over. Marv Albert and Steve Kerr, who were calling the game for TNT, they probably thought the game was over. As a matter of fact, they did think the game was over. Okay, but the saying is never over till it's over, and that's when Tracy McGrady did one of the craziest things seen in the NBA, scoring 13 points in 35 seconds. Here it is.
They did not get that play correct out of the timeout, and Popovich obviously upset with Manu.
Here's McGrady for three. 35 seconds to go. Continues to hit at the line. And the Spurs now lead by 7. Rockets looking for a quick shot. Bowen is all over McGrady. Foul is picked up. Hits a potential 4-point play. Tracy McGrady from downtown. And Tim Duncan could not get out of the way. He's called for the foul.
Wow. What a shot by McGrady. You'll see the screen by Yao Ming, which forces Duncan to help, and he just draws the contact and somehow gets it to go. Incredible shot by T-Mac.
16.2 to go in the fourth. Barrett can't find anybody. They have no timeouts remaining. Finally gets it in to McGrady. McGrady over Bowen for three. Yes! Yes! Tracy McGrady. 13 points. They've outscored the Spurs 14-6. And this a moment ago.
Well, they almost didn't get the ball in, and now you've got the best defender in the game on McGrady. How does he hit this? Bowen not wanting to pick up the foul, and McGrady amazingly somehow gets it to go. It's a 2-point game.
And a good job by Andre Barrett. They had no timeouts left, close to a 5-second count, but got the ball inbound. So 11.2 to go in this fourth quarter. San Antonio now clinging to a 2-point lead. They've led by as many as 11. Yao Ming on the inbounds, trying to make things difficult for Brent Barry. Gets it in. Kevin Brown lost it. Here comes McGrady. No timeouts remaining. McGrady for the win. Yes! 1.7 to go. San Antonio with no timeout. Here's Parker, and the Rockets steal a game from the Spurs. Tracy McGrady with an incredible performance down the stretch, including a 4-point play. Tracy McGrady with 33 points. The Texas showdown continues. San Antonio had won 7 straight against Houston, and it's all McGrady scoring the last 13 for the Rockets. 13 points in 33 seconds.
And he never had a doubt that he was going to pull up from 3 and go for the win, and why not? Unbelievable. All those people who left, Marv, they're driving home in their cars right now wondering, what were we thinking?
Well, we were wrapping it up for San Antonio,
but we had to stay.
Yeah. So 13 points in 35 seconds was insane. I remember going to work the next day and reading it in the sports section. Where Tracy McGrady scored 13 points in 35 seconds. And I was like, that's not possible. Scoring 13 points in 35 seconds. Then I went back and watched the footage. And yeah, he did hit that. What's that saying that Sid Shahaker had in the song? He did that. Yeah, so that was unbelievable. Scoring now, Reggie Miller scoring 8 points in 32 seconds was insane. But Tracy McGrady scored 13 points in 35 seconds is even more insane. And obviously you had Isaiah Thomas scoring 16 points in 94 seconds, right? But that's when the NBA was still in its heyday, right? Yeah. So when Michael Jordan came back with the Wizards in 2001, okay, obviously he wasn't the same player Physically, he couldn't, jump as high, couldn't run as fast. Well, probably he still could run as fast, but you saw him in practice. If you saw him in practice, he was icing his knees down because obviously he was 39, 40 years old, and his knees had gotten bad. And he was obviously icing his knees down in practice. And so obviously you had the game winners against Cleveland. He had a game winner against Cleveland, a game winner against Phoenix, okay? And the All-Star game, 2003 All-Star game, where he potentially hit the game-winning shot, okay? So he still had it, okay? And he could still dunk the ball every once in a while, okay? And he was still a good defensive player. He was still a good offensive player when he was with the Wizards. And his block on Ron Mercer that he had, I think that's one of the best plays he's ever had. Here it is.
Michael Jordan. Und der Kerl ist 38 Jahre alt.
Oakley to Mercer. Mercer on the run. Oh, what a play! What a defensive play! A two-hand block, steal, game, set, match. Oh my goodness, what a play!
Yeah. I did a video a long time ago, a while back, talking about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan would hit the Wizards. He still had it. Okay. Was it the same player physically? Michael more or less beat you with his brain. Okay. And so, I think that's one of the best plays with the Washington Wizards, his block on Ron Mercer. And speaking of Michael Jordan, let me see if I can find it. Okay, so okay.
A lot of money. He is a franchise type of player, but if he's worth.
No, not that. Okay. You know what? Forget it. Yeah, forget it. So, I was watching The Last Dance, okay, and they were showing footage of the Bulls closing out the Miami Heat in Game 3 of the 1996 NBA playoffs, okay. And so the game's over. Bulls win 112 to 91. Okay. And so game is over. And Keith Askins is in the game for the Miami Heat. Okay. Keith Askins is in the game. And game is over. Michael walks over to Keith Askins to shake Keith Askins' hand. And Keith Askins just ends up walking away. And Michael Jordan is like, huh? Keith Askins just walked away. He refused to shake Michael Jordan's hand. Okay? And I had to rewind that. I'm like, hold it. Michael walks over to Keith Askins. And Keith Askins doesn't shake his hand. Did I really see that? So I had to rewind it a few times. Yeah, he did. He did that. Yeah, he did that. Keith Askins refused to shake Michael Jordan's hand. Okay. So let's fast forward to next year where Michael Jordan refused to shake Alonzo Mourning's hand in Game 5 during the pregame. Okay. And the reason why Michael Jordan did that was because Alonzo Mourning, Jordan felt Alonzo Mourning was out of line in Game 4. Okay. He felt Alonzo Mourning was out of line in Game 4 of the 1997 NBA playoffs. Let me see. I always want. Okay. Rewind it a little bit. There we go. Okay. And so, fast forward to 96-97, where Michael refuses to shake Alonzo Mourning's hand in Game 5. And this is the reason why Michael Jordan refused to shake Alonzo Mourning's hand.
Just what the Chicago Bulls wanted to stop in this whole series.
We felt they tried to take our manhood. They beat us up. They pounded on us.
Heat aren't going away without a fight.
Alonzo Mourning was doing a lot of talking the entire series. And when he elbowed Scotty and Scotty got that bump on his head, I think Michael kind of took it personally.
And I think that set Michael off. So when he came back into practice after that weekend on Tuesday, he said, guys, this one's a personal test. When we come out there today, I want this game to be a grudge match.
It's personal, and I've been saying. You guys go out and play with a lot of intensity, a lot of heart.
Let's go.
And from the beginning, Jordan would...
Yeah. So, NBC, I said NBC. NBC showed pregame footage. NBC showed pregame footage of Jordan refusing to shake Alonzo Mourning's hand. Okay. Jordan refused to shake his hand at mid-court because of what he did to Scottie Pippen. And we all know Michael takes everything personally. Okay. So, yeah. Keith Askins didn't shake Michael's hand the year before. Alonzo Mourning, Jordan doesn't shake Alonzo Mourning's hand the next year, okay? And the Bulls went on to win, get into the NBA Finals, where they won the 5th championship. So, yeah. All right, that's it. And that's all for Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am out of here. Peace out.